Hey, what's up, everybody? Anybody watching this? I just wanted to do a quick video on the Apple Vision Pro VR headset that was just debuted here recently, a few days ago. So I just had a few thoughts, comments on Apple's VR headset, and just kind of what I think about that whole new niche in the tech space. So, um, for those of you that know or have seen, I'm sure most people have seen, they released their product or their VR headset called the Apple Vision Pro, uh, or they announced it, not released it. Um, but I believe it's due to be released early next year, so 2024. And a few people, tech type review people, have been able to, uh, I guess, get their hands on it, not for long, but have been able to kind of at least put it on and try it out. Um, I linked a video down below that's pretty good. It's like 20 minutes, not super long, but it's the tech YouTuber Marquez Brownlee. So he kind of goes over just some of the features and how it works. So I'm not super knowledgeable, honestly, on the whole VR world. I've never been a huge gamer, um, and it's not something that's super interesting to me, honestly. But I did think that Apple's, as far as just the way the Apple Vision Pro looks, I mean, it looks cool. It looks um, halfway uh, comfortable, I guess, is something you can actually wear. A lot of the other VR headsets that I've seen, they just look like they'd be so uncomfortable and bulky. And anything that I've heard about VR from just far as like anecdotal, just from people like meeting people, like people who are into gaming and things like that. Everything that I've heard about VR, people have just said that I mean, you can't actually wear it for a long amount of time. I've heard people say that, they get dizzy or it just makes them feel sick after a short amount of time. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what Apple has done to remedy that, and how long they expect people to be wearing something like the Apple Vision Pro. Like, is that something that you wear to watch a movie, or you wear to um, browse the internet or actually work, or is it something that you're wearing to record? Like, I know you can record, like capture video moments, like you do whatever on a cell phone or whatever. You're recording video, so I don't know the overall um, uh, what the overall intention of the product is. And I know if you watch the video below, uh, that Marquez Brownlee had said the reason why they announced it so early is so that developers could start developing whatever their products for the Vision Pro. So again, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see when it comes out. Um, how people that actually buy it react to it and how they use it. I'm sure that Apple is doing studies behind the scenes as far as like how long can you wear it, or what are they recommending? Is the time period or time frame that is healthy to be wearing it? I don't really know. In the video down below, it's interesting. It has a battery pack, but it's not actually on the physical unit itself. It's connected through a cord, and then you have this little like battery that you could either put in your pocket, or if you're just like on a couch or something like that, you could just rest in your lap. And that's due to the weight, because they want to reduce the weight because you're wearing this thing on your head. So it's interesting that you would think that they could develop a battery that would last longer than 2 hours. So I don't know if they did that intentionally because they don't want you wearing it for more than 2 hours, or you can also plug it in directly into whatever, just like a your wall or whatever, USB C, a power port. So I don't know if they did the whole 2-hour battery pack thing intentionally. Um, so that'll be interesting to hear more when it comes out, just as far as how people are using it, how they are reacting to it and whatnot. So I know there's other products out there from other companies in the whole VR space. There's all sorts of things that they're trying to develop and implement, ways that you can implement that into your life. So I've seen, like, I think through the Facebook, whatever their VR, like they had showed like you could be in virtual meetings and all sorts of different ways that you can use it. So again, my main kind of thought was, is it more of a fad, or is this really the future? I mean, I'm sure Apple, this is like a huge product for them to develop and put out. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, how people react to it, and if it's a total flop, or if this is really this new huge, tech sector, tech space that people are really interested in. So again, just like anecdotal, as far as like my opinion, um, on tech products or whatever. Like everybody knows, when like the iPod first came out, everybody had to have like the iPod. Then they'd release a new model, and like everybody had to have that new model. So they had a lot of hype around through the years. They've had a lot of hype of their products. Whatever the iPad came out, like I remember I was like, oh my god, I have to have an iPad, and then I got one, and basically never used it. So I'm not like a big iPad person today. But whatever the products they release have always been generally the iPhone. There's a lot of hype behind them, and people always, when the new version or whatever comes out, it's like something that people want and have to have. So again, it'll be interesting to see if there's that that hype behind the Vision Pro. It is expensive. It's supposed to be like $3,500. Um, and in the video link down below, you know, that Marquez Brownlee, he had said, this is probably going to be, you know, uh, either, adopted early by people are very like, techie type people, and they always want the latest and greatest new product, or people who are just wealthy and it's just like a gimmicky thing that they just buy on a whim. So I think that's probably accurate, but you never know. Is like, I'm sure that you're going to be able to finance that product or whatever. So, like, if people really want it, if it's something like whatever that they have to have, or it really blows up, I'm sure people will find a way to get it. So, in my opinion, it's not something that I'm would want or am going to get. Um, again, it'll be interesting to see how people react. But there's other things in the past that you know tech wise have come out that were supposed to be, uh, big new waves of the future. Like I remember when 3D televisions first started coming out, like people were like, oh my God, like everybody is going to have a 3D TV, and they're going to be wearing, whatever the 3D glasses at home. And that's going to be like the new big thing. I don't really know what ever happened to that whole trend, but that seemed to not have come to fruition. So um, it's interesting how things people sometimes predict, uh, how technology will be the new future. Everybody's got to have it. It's going to be the new trend. It's going to be something that's here to stay. And sometimes a lot of these things flop. So it's also interesting. When you watch a lot of, because I do like sci-fi movies, like Total Recall. A lot of those movies are really good, but it's interesting how sometimes they don't predict. Like I was watching Total Recall recently with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and how they don't predict, like there's no cell phones. So there's other things in the movie, whatever, they have driverless cars, things like that. But it's funny how sometimes a lot of these futuristic type movies, they don't, um, obviously they're not, they're for fun, but I think a lot of people who are in the tech industry look to these movies for inspiration, but they don't always accurately predict uh, what what the future is really going to look like. So, um, again, interesting video down below if anybody's wants to learn more about the product. It's not super long, like 20 minutes long. Um, and also, I did want to mention too. Everybody was kind of comparing um, the movie. I have not seen it honestly yet. It came out in 2018. Steven Spielberg, the Ready Player One that he had done. But here's just a short description on the movie. So it says in 2045, the planet is on the brink of chaos and collapse, but people find salvation in the Oasis, an expansive virtual reality universe created by eccentric James Halliday. When Halliday dies, he promises his immense fortune to the first person to discover a digital Easter egg that is hidden somewhere in Oasis. When young Wade Watts joins the contest, he finds himself becoming an unlikely hero in a reality bending treasure hunt through a fantastical world of mystery, discovery, and danger. So I definitely have to see that movie. Um, and I do think it's interesting to kind of to predict and think about what is the future going to look like uh, with how immersed people are in technology. Um, and again, everybody talks about this all the time, but how people are whatever they're on social media all the time. They're whatever on their phone all the time. They're on their computer. That's just kind of the way the world is today for most people. Um, So again, like I said, I don't. For me personally, I don't see it being. Um, I don't see it being something a product like the VR that Apple has released, a product that's gonna just be something like an iPhone where everybody like it's almost like an essential or whatever a smartphone, something that's almost like essential for you to have being a modern human being. So, who knows what'll really happen, and who knows in the future how um, entrenched people will be in technology and what becomes the norm. Again, that's why I find things like shows like Black Mirror, stuff like that, so interesting. A lot of the episodes you can really see, like, wow, this is something. This is potentially how the future could look. So, um, as products come out like this and as the world advances, it looks like, you know, not too long into the future, driverless vehicles are going to be pretty common. Um, all these things are developed. It's interesting to see how humans are gonna fit into that world and how um, whatever people are going to be displaced from their jobs. How are they going to adapt into this new future? So hopefully it is not super dystopian. And I do think there are a large number of people that are acknowledging the fact that, and for me personally, I find this to be the truth. Like technology is useful, and there's a lot of amazing advances in technology that I don't know how people ever lived without, like navigation and whatever, a cell phone, being able to call people and all these sorts of things are really amazing. But being in nature and being connected to reality and connecting with people in reality is still, there's just no replacement for that. And the technology can assist in certain areas. And yeah, the entertainment aspect is awesome. Like I love to watch a good movie, all that sort of stuff. But it it can be overdone and is being overdone. And again, I do wonder. I just know for myself personally, staring at a computer screen all day makes me feel sick. So I wonder if they're trying to get you to adopt wearing a screen over your eyes, and it potentially is that the new norm? We're wearing this on your face for 8 hours a day. How healthy can that be for human beings? So um, it'll be, like I said, I hope that that conversation comes up when these products are being released, and I hope that these tech companies are doing everything they can to create products that are actually healthy for human beings. So, anyways, that's all have to say, I guess, at this point on the topic. And yeah, hopefully, I'll be back for more videos soon. All right, guys, peace, adios.